Sentiment around some quarters is that such events tend to be talk shops, but I can tell you that the 2026 Investing in African Mining Indaba has been nothing of the sort, especially because delegates from the continent are talking about the biggest event ever at this particular juncture that brings together a purpose that seeks unity within the African continent in terms of taking minerals out to the rest of the global economy, but consensus also being made around what critical minerals are going to be basically taken to the world economy to benefit the African continent. And speaking of sentiment that is straying away from that issue of the Indaba being a talk shop, today's focus is on the youth. Young people from the likes of Zambia, Zimbabwe, the DRC, South Africa are gathered here today to form part of what will be the future of the cohort in the mining industry, especially when we take a shift globally towards technology, the AI generation, and also the expansion of having the mining industry being controlled by the continent. I am, however, joined by Product Director of the Mining Indaba, Laura Nicholson, to talk more about this year's event. Laura, thank you so much for your time. Really, it's been talked about that there are even more participants this year, and it's one of the biggest yet, arguably, of this Indaba. Talk to us about the feedback for this year.
I wouldn't say it's one of the biggest. I would say it is the biggest, with over 11,000 attendees over the course of this week. So we're extremely proud to be hosting the largest mining Indaba state. Sentiment at this year's event has been extremely positive. I think grounded on our theme, Stronger Together, Progress Through Partnerships, the industry has embraced this concept, embraced the strategy, and are really feeling like they need to come together collectively to bring our mining industry forward and to help it really grow. So really constructive, positive dialogue that's happening here over the course of the week.
It has been absolutely positive with the dialogue that has been coming out. In terms of the theme, Laura, how practical is the resolution in terms of how delegates have been engaging and taking product to the rest of the world so that we do not fall under that cohort and sentiment that my colleague Michelle asked about of the event being a talk shop?
Look, the concept of coming together and working collectively is probably to an extent new for the industry, right? We do typically tend to operate and work in silos or in our own individual capacities. But I think, as I've said, because there's so much interest in working collectively, this is a grounding and a beginning of a new time, a new moment in history for the mining industry, and everyone has embraced it. So while we're not going to change overnight, it's certainly the beginning of that change, and over the next few years we will see the industry continue to come together and work together, which is what we need so badly to really benefit from our mineral endowment on the African continent, so that we can be grounded and centered as the African mining destination when it comes to extracting those minerals for our own people as much as for the global world.
Let's also talk about today's focus on the youth. How critical is that at a time where the globe really is trying to prepare its young for the future of the world economy?
The mining industry does typically contain or have a lot of our old grey-haired traditional experts, but I think at the same time we are very much in acknowledgement that the youth represent the future of this industry. So the Young Professionals program is our opportunity to bring the old expertise from our industry with the youth and say, let's come together, let's work together, let's partner together, because you are the future of this industry and you will help to take us forward. But that expertise needs to stay grounded, because that's what the mining industry does need. It's a technical industry. So I think today we bring them together and they learn from each other, and together in partnership they will take our industry forward. I'm really, really proud of being able to do that and what they can do collectively together.
Thank you so much for your input, Laura Nicholson, Product Director of the Mining Indaba, speaking to us about partnership, collaboration, and that feeds into the broader theme of the 2026 Investing in African Mining Indaba.